Hello friends, welcome back, and in this video, let's try and understand pivot points or pivot levels. This is a very interesting indicator which is widely used for intraday trading on a day-to-day basis. And this particular indicator helps you define or predict the future support and resistance levels. These pivot levels are calculated using three price points from the previous period, that is your high price point, the low price point and the closing price point. Using these three levels, you calculate your pivot levels and the associated support and resistance levels. These pivot levels will help you identify intraday trading opportunities and help you define your exit levels and your stop losses as well. The pivot level typically will comprise of three parts. The first part is your P line or the pivot line, also known as your baseline, which is your average of the high, low and close of the previous period. Remember, for an intraday period, today's pivot level will be the average of the high, low and close of the whole day from yesterday. So besides the pivot line, we have two more components to the pivot levels known as your resistance levels and your support levels. The resistance levels can be 1 or 2 or 3 different levels, and similarly you can have 1, 2 or more than 2 support levels as well. Don't be confused. Let's take an example and try to understand this better. On my screen, if you can see, I have the chart of ICICI Bank on a 5-minute time frame, and I have plotted the pivot levels with the standard set of indicators or components, that is your P line, your support lines and your resistance lines. If you notice here, the P line that I have here would be calculated using the average of the high, low and close of the whole period from yesterday, and this is what helps me define the P level. And accordingly, I have the support 1, support 2 being calculated by the system and the resistance 1 and resistance 2. The common concept around the pivot level trading is that whenever the price opens below the P level, it is a bearish indication and you might want to enter short in that particular security. So you might want to book out your short around S1, or if you want, you can even trail and book out around S2, and if you want, you can even start trailing further. Had the prices opened above the P line, you would have tried to take a long position and book out around the first resistance or trail to see if the stock goes to the second resistance level or not. Taking one more example, I have the chart of Ambuja Cements again on a 5-minute time frame. I have the P line here, and as we can see, the price opened above the P line, indicating that this is a bullish sentiment or a positive sentiment for the stock. I might want to take up a long position somewhere here, book out my long position around R1 or trail my position to book out around R2. So this is how intraday traders make wide use of the pivot levels to further their trading decisions, and mostly they use this particular indicator for intraday trading. That is, they don't carry the position overnight, they enter the position and exit on the same day, and this is most widely done on the FNO side as well. Now let's log into tv.dhan.co and try to see how we can plot this indicator and what are the settings that we need to change when we are plotting this indicator. I have already logged into tv.dhan.co, so let me delete all the existing indicators and let me go to a 5-minute time frame chart for Bharat Petroleum, and let me go to this option called indicators and search for pivot point standard. Don't get confused by the bunch of lines that have been plotted. Just go to the settings option. We just want the support 1, resistance 1, support 2 and resistance 2. I'm keeping 2 levels for the sake of simplicity, but you can keep as many levels as you want. So for now, let me remove the other levels. And in the inputs, I don't want the historical pivot points, I just want today's pivot points. So I have kept that option as well. I have unchecked the historical pivot points option. So what I now see is a P line. I see R1, R2 being plotted and S1, S2 being plotted. The price opened with a huge gap down below the P line, which was a bearish sentiment, but the prices started going up. And when we see that the price is closed above the P line, this is a long entry for me. I could have taken a long position, exited here or trailed my stop losses and again be a part of this entire journey. Let's look at another example. Let's open the chart for Dr. Reddy's lab. So let's go to the charts. Let's go to full screen mode. So again, it's a 5-minute time frame and the pivot levels are plotted here. The price opened above the P line, so it's a buy signal for you. You can book out on R1 or you can trail up to R2, or you can even try to go beyond R2 depending upon how you are managing your position. So I hope, friends, that this video was informative for you and you are now able to understand how to use pivot levels to further your intraday trading decision making. Stay tuned in our next video where we cover stochastics, which is another indicator yet very powerful indicator in helping you make informed trading and investing decisions. Thank you.